Hello everyone, and welcome back to History Buff 41. This is our first video in quite a while, and what we have before us are a pair of M1910 entrenchment shovels, or trench shovels, more commonly known as a T-handle shovel, because if you look here at the handle, it is quite obviously shaped into a T. But what we're looking at is something that I'm going to call real or reproduction. These are pretty well identical. I believe both shovels to be authentic and not reproduction. This one here is obviously showing some wear. You can see it here on the handle. You can also see some wear here on the shaft there. And the one here on the left has obviously been painted, but it still shows a decent amount of honest wear. But what is, I believe, reproduction are the covers. One is real, and one, I believe, or one I am positive, is a reproduction. So we're going to take a look at those and see what the difference is between them and how to tell the difference. So let's zoom in here real quick. And if we take a look, move my stand around here a little bit, you can obviously see the first thing that you look at that stands out is the US markings. The one on the left is much darker than the one on the right. The one on the right obviously has much more wear to it. But that isn't always a great indicator of whether or not something is authentic, because I have seen items that are 80 years old and look practically brand new. So the other thing that we can look at are the buckles here. If you look, the one on the left is some sort of black painted steel, maybe aluminum. On the right, this is obviously brass, and you can see if there was ever any painting or anything on this, it has long since worn off. But if we take a little closer look at this one, you can see here there are some areas of wear on this buckle. And so that is one thing. And another thing we can look at is the actual cloth, the actual fabric that is used for the cover. If we look at this one, and you got to look real close, and it's focusing in real good, you can see, look at the weave, look at the pattern, and these are almost like dimples that are pointed out on what is the authentic item. Whereas if we take a close look here on the reproduction, it's obvious that the dimples are pointed in. And then the other thing I want to take a look at is the stitching on the cover. If you look here, you can see there on this strap, that's pretty fine threads. Same here on this hem. The thread that's being used to sew that on is very thin, very fine. Whereas if we look at this one, it's a little heavier, coarser thread on both, and it stands out more on both the strap here that's used to tie the shovel in, and on the hem here that's used to protect it and keep it from fraying. Now if we flip it over, we take a look here. This obviously has a maker's mark. Looks like it's dated 1942. These T-handled shovels were used, exclusively in World War I, but they also saw a lot of use in World War II. And there's several period photographs even up into 1943, 1944, where you see troops carrying not the fold-over shovels like we usually think of, but these T-handled shovels. And so that's on the authentic one. If you look at the reproduction one, here is a gigantic marker where you have a manufacturer's tag as compared to one that was stamped into the cover. And again, this hanger here, it's some kind of metal, but really it feels almost like plastic. It's a real light metal. And again, very highly polished black plastic or black painted. And again, looking at the stitching here on the hanger, it's very very fine. The threads are, whereas here these are a little thicker, a little heavier. The fabric itself between the two is a little heavier. This hanger shows some obvious wear from being on a cartridge belt or a backpack or something. And you can see there's been a repair right there where there was some sort of a hole and it was stitched together. So that's that for this episode. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to ring the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching.